You can start. As I mentioned, I presented, this is my dissertation research, so, and I should be defending this here in a few weeks, April 24th. So, now the presentation I'm going to give you is a little different than the one I'm going to give them because there's a whole lot of statistical analysis that I'm not going to get into with you guys because, and it's okay that you don't understand it. It's not because you aren't brilliant, it's just because you haven't taken 27 graduate hours of research methods, and that's okay. But, so, my project is determining what television tells us about online romantic relationships, online dating. Now, we're not interested in what the experience people have with online dating. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in what you think about it. So, and more specifically, what does television tell us about it? So, watching television programming, and I'm going to show you we're going to watch some examples, and what does advertising tell us about online dating? So let's start off with, what do you guys think about online dating?
Not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea, right?
It seems dangerous.
Seems dangerous?
There are a lot of crazy people. You don't know who's
Crazy
really on
people?
the
You can lie.
Too easy to lie.
Oh. Too easy to lie. Okay, I'm going to stop throwing things around. It's not working. That was horrible. That was for freshmen.
That's all right.
So it's too easy to lie. It's dangerous. It's not your cup of tea. What else?
Catfish.
Catfishing, yes.
Yeah.
But it's the technology age. That's how we do it now. Like that's what people think now.
It's a technology age. I can get you.
Thank you.
Technology age. Anything else?
It works out for some people.
It works out for some people. How many of you guys know someone, either yourself or of a friend or family member who has done online dating? Okay, about everyone. How many of you guys are either yourself or a friend, family member is in a relationship with someone they met online? So about half of you. All right, so it's becoming something that people do. It's not quite. It's something people do, right? All right, so romantic relations are an important part of our well-being. So part of our overall mental health is being being happy with your romantic relationship life, right? Television using affects people's perceptions of romantic relationships. So there's a lot more conflict on television relationships, so you have different perceptions on conflict. Relationships on television progress a lot faster. So we have this perception that if our relationship is moving fast, then there's something wrong with it. Gender roles, women don't make any moves, I guess, in a relationship, and men are always being romantic. The other thing is, showing people watching Netflix on a Friday evening isn't attractive television. What is going on a date or going to going to things, right? So we think if we're doing laundry on a Saturday afternoon, there's something wrong with us, right? But that's what people do, right? So, okay. Single characters are portrayed negatively. If you're single on television, there's something wrong with you, you're not happy. However, also so are married characters. If you're married, you're also not happy with your marriage, right? Online romantic relations are becoming more common. It's something that more people are doing. It's about everyone in here pretty much knows someone who has done it, or yourself doing it. So the theory behind this is cultivation theory, which is cultivation theory says that television have a skewed perception of reality. And this was developed in 1969 by George Gerbner. So it was first developed with the world as being more violent. So people that watch more television, they think the world is more violent. There's more crime, there's more murders, there's more, because crime is a big part of television. So they believe that the world is more violent than it really is. That was the original basis of theory. But it's unique because it's only focused on television. It doesn't deal with radio, any other types of media. It's only television. It doesn't deal with any types of. It's just television. So it's only focused on television effects. The other thing that makes it unique is that it's how people conceive of their world. So it doesn't deal with, okay, you watch this show on the deforestation or something, so then you think that changed your perception of deforestation. It's about, you've watched television since the day you were born, how is this affecting your worldview, right? So just watching one show is just a drop in the bucket for cultivation training. It's how you conceive of your world. And television portrayals shape people's realities. So how many of you guys spend a lot of time in a hospital? Anybody?
I work at one.
Okay, you work at one. Anyone spend a lot of time in a courtroom? Okay. But there's a lot of movies that deal with courtroom dramas, deal with hospitals. So since we don't spend a lot of time in there, we think, okay, that's what a courtroom is. That's what a hospital is like. How many of you guys have been in a war zone? One person. There's a lot of war movies. So we think of war as what we see on television, right? Because we don't have a portrayal. And anyone that's a lawyer or a doctor or has been in a war zone, they watch the movie and they said it's not realistic. It's not how it really is. Okay. So online matriculation. We'll talk about that for a minute. And this is all stuff that I read. This is not the research that I did. This is information that I gathered from other literature. So 40% of daters have used online dating. So that's a lot. That's almost half, right? 40% of people that are interested in, are looking for a relationship, looking for a partner, have done online dating. There are differences between online dating and traditional dating. So self-disclosure, you disclose a lot really fast in online dating. It's a lot slower in traditional dating. Usually online daters are looking for desired characteristics. Non-smoker, certain age, certain height, certain weight, they're into outdoorsy activities, they're into action movies, they're into comedies, they're into drama. They're looking for desired characteristics. They're searching for a specific type of person rather than a certain type of relationship. Some have called this process relation shopping, right? So they're not looking for a relationship. They're not just looking for a relationship. They're shopping for a relationship. And serial monogamy is becoming common. So with online dating, if you decide you go out with somebody and they want Mexican food and you want Thai food, and you don't want something that is a very minuscule part of a relationship, you're like, well, I'll just go online and find somebody else, right? So they tend to not stay in a relationship. They don't want to build on the relationship. They're looking for a person who they'll find somebody who is like Thai food or something like that. So that's that. Stigma changes with age, right? So the stigma for young people is like, if you're in college, you've got plenty of friends, you're going to parties, you're doing all these things. Why are you going online when you have all these people that you're meeting? And there's a lot of singles. But you've been on Facebook since you were in high school. You've been on Facebook for a decade now. You grew up with Facebook. You grew up with these online things. So it doesn't seem that weird that you would also go online to find dating. Older adults, 35 to 50, it's weird that you're going online because they didn't grow up with Facebook. They didn't grow up with Twitter, Snapchat, all those things. But they get it because you're working. Maybe you've got kids. You're busy, so finding and there's not a big pool of singles as there are for 35 to 50-year-olds. So the stigma is that it's weirder that you're going online, but they understand it because there's not a big pool of singles out there. The other thing is the definition of online dating is becoming blurred. So, for example, Tinder, is that online dating or not? It's a phone app, but there's no website attached to it. The other thing is, let's say you meet somebody, then you become Facebook friends with them, and you pursue them via social media, which is very common. Is that online dating or not? You met them traditionally, but then you develop the relationship via Facebook or internet. Or if you have a friend who you meet, that you get to know them on you start talking to them on Facebook because you have mutual friends. Or if you're part of a vegan group or some sort of support group or some sort of interest group on a chat line, some sort of online thing. Is that online dating or not? It's becoming blurred. So what is online dating is becoming less definable. So, research question. This is what I wanted to know. What messages does television media communicate about online romantic relationships? This is a question you can help me answer here shortly. So that's that. and I had a hypothesis. So RQ is research question, H is hypothesis. People who know someone who've used online dating service will have more positive attitudes about online manipulation. So if you know someone that's done it, or you yourself has done it, then you're going to have more positive perceptions of it. People who watch more television that has advertising for online dating sites will have a more positive perception of online manipulation. So if you watch a lot more advertising, you're going to have more positive perceptions. Viewing different types of television genre will affect perceptions of online manipulation. So if you watch drama, if you watch comedy, you're going to have different perceptions of online dating, of online relationships. People that watch such television will have more positive perceptions of serial monogamy than low television viewers. So if you watch more television, you're going to have more positive perceptions of serial monogamy. If you watch such television, you're going to attach a greater stigma to online romantic relationships. So you're going to say it's more stigmatized if you watch more television. Heavy consumer television will attach greater normalization to online romantic relationships. So if you watch more television, you're going to think it's a more normal process, right? And finally, this is the big one. This is what the whole study is really kind of getting to, is people that watch such television have more negative perceptions of online romantic relationships than people that watch less television. So if you watch more television, you're going to think more negatively about online romantic relationships. So, how did I find this? This is where you guys get to participate in the selectivity a little bit. So, we did a content analysis. It's a modified Gerbner content analysis, and what it means is that usually what Gerbner would do is he would watch, and with content analysis in cultivations, they watch NBC for a certain amount of time. They watch just all television, okay, and how much online dating is there. The problem with that is that there's not a whole lot of online dating on TV, so we couldn't really do that. That wasn't going to work. We would have gotten like 1% or less than 1%. So, it also doesn't include advertising. Gerbner wasn't interested in advertising, but we were in this case. So it's modified. So I watched well, I didn't watch, my coders watched 31 television programs and 60 television advertisements. And you're going to watch some of that here in a second. Constant comparative method, you don't even know what that means necessarily, but that just means that the way we had developed the themes that we used. So I had 4 senior communication student coders. This is a kappa, which means that we had decent reliability for the programming, we had good reliability for the advertising. You don't even know much about kappa, but that's a good thing right there. That's good. You like that. So, let's do some content analysis. Alright, so I'm going to pass around something, and this would be a good time to get more popcorn if you need it. And I've got 10 copies, so share with your colleagues. Alright. And you need, there's 2 different sheets, so you need 2. Take a minute to read those through, and
We don't have that one. They need that. We need one of those. We all need that one. Hold on, let's just share this. We need that one.
so take a minute to read that, get some popcorn. And I'll just pass it, turn it around, it wasn't working very well, so let's pass it around. There should be 2 for everybody.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you have taken a look at the sheets there, alright? So first take a look at the one with the... That was a great show. Take a look at the sheet that has the longer list first, okay? Put the one with the shorter list aside, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to watch this, and I want you to see what theme. Well, I should have given you one. I'm sorry. See what theme you think this is. Okay.
Heck, you tell your mom she high-fives you so fast she doesn't even take off her oven mitts. But if they had any idea how difficult it is, the jealousy, the insecurity, those high-fives would be high-fives of condolence.
Barney, condolence high-fives are not a thing.
They're a thing. I'm afraid we're gonna have to let you go. Up top. Ah, listen to me and my boring couples problems. How are you? How's the single life?
I wouldn't know. After this whole Robin thing, for the time being, I'm laying low.
Laying low as in sleeping with a really short chick? You guys doing 39?
I mean, I'm not seeing anyone. I'm just, trying to get Robin out of my head.
You need a palate cleanser.
Barney, please, don't try to set me up with Quinn's stripper friends.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
Why not? How many hints do I have to drop?
No, I'm thinking of something much more traditional. Online dating.
Yeah, no thanks.
Come on, Ted, it's 2012. What do you expect, to meet some cute travel agent when you're reading a newspaper in a bookstore? None of those things exist anymore.
Barney, I will never, ever, ever try online dating.
That night I tried online dating. And kids, the first girl I found was amazing. Beautiful, smart, funny, huge fan of pre-war architecture. Favorite poet Neruda, favorite movie Ghostbusters. And she didn't hate Cleveland.
She's perfect.
So I sent her an email inviting her to mini golf.
Hello?
Mini golf? Who takes a first date to mini golf? I'm coming over. Oh, Ted.
Bust you in.
Did you really think you could start dating online and I wouldn't find out?
But this girl, she was just...
Me. She was me. The photo was just of some girl I knew you'd never seen before. A very famous sports anchor on ESPN.
I don't need you to help me find a girl online.
Exactly, because I've already done it. 3 girls, in fact. I scoured the dating sites using my own personal logarithms, factoring in a broad spectrum of variables, filtering out undesirable high-risk negatives, guaranteeing a success rate of 83.
You pick the girls that showed the most poop.
My methods get results. Go out with these 3 girls, and your palate is going to be so cleansed, you will see your reflection in it. And when you do, you can fix the hair, because have you seen yourself?
No, but you know what I have seen? Your stripper girlfriend's cans.
Okay, so what theme do we think this is? And this is where I was going to throw out more candy, but you guys have candy now, so I'm going to make that.
Is it mainstream?
Okay, mainstream it would be some of that, yeah. Anything else?
Uniqueness?
Don't think it'd be a whole uniqueness. Readiness would be a little of that, yeah.
Idealization?
Idealization would be a little of that.
Better?
What is it?
Better?
Not quite, not better. Because better is when you
Postman's match.
actually meet someone and they're like.
Is it known?
No, technically known. There's better examples of known. Okay, that's a good. But if you had to pick one, which is what my coach had to do, which one would you use?
Uniqueness?
Other.
Other? Well, it's one of the ones. Of the ones you've picked.
Oh.
Mainstream. I would say this is mainstream. This is. He's saying, hey, it's 2012. It was, why aren't you online dating? And he's like, I would never online date. And then he goes on online dates. He's not saying, hey, you're a loser, you need to go online date. It's, hey, this is something we do. So that mainstream is making it a mainstream concept. All right. So. All right. Now.
Shannon, number 465.
I'm Shannon. Sorry. Sorry, sometimes I don't know the power of my own voice. But as I mentioned before, I'm Shannon. And I want to meet a woman who is interested in military history. And being a Dungeons & Dragons aficionado is a plus with capital P. My ideal romantic evening is thus: perusing the latest edition of Jane's Fighting Ships, playing Star Trek trivia, The Next Generation, not Voyager, no way, please. Although, actually, the Kirk versus Picard chat room on the internet is really a lot of fun, but anyway. My pod bay doors are wide open. Eat bok, strangla, gangu bok. And if you understood that, then let's get together and make it so.
Shannon, westbound 465.
Okay, what was that?
Idealization.
Idealization, okay. Anything else might have been?
Worse.
Well, not worse, because worse is when you say, hey, they're gonna be great, and then you meet them, then yeah. Then they turn out.
Uniqueness?
Uniqueness, okay. So we had, which was the first one we said?
Idealization.
Idealization, uniqueness, anything else? I would say this is probably uniqueness. I'd have to go back and look at what my coder said, but. Okay, we're gonna watch one more television show.
Tonight we'll be taking a look at the pros and cons of dating Britney Spears. That's right. She's recently single, she sings good jingles, she loves her Pringles, and she's ready to mingle. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of dating. You know what? Let's just hear it from Britney herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Britney Spears. Brittany, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Now, before we get to the pros and cons, I want to do something fun we did earlier. You're out there in the dating pool, you look for Mr. Right. And so here at the Tonight Show, we're all about making love connections. So before the show, you did something cool. You let us sign you up for the dating app Tinder. This is real. This is real. We made a profile for you and everything. Check this out. There it is. Look at the bottom there. It says, this better work, bitch. I want to stress Brittany had nothing to do with this. This is our idea. But she has the password now, and it is her profile. She can do whatever she wants with it. Brittany, you excited to be on Tinder?
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled.
Okay, no, good. If you guys are on Tinder and want to date Britney Spears, just look for her profile and swipe right. That means good. And you can date Britney Spears. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, with Britney's help, let's take a look at the pros and cons of dating Britney Spears. Here we go. Pro, you can cuddle in bed and watch your favorite show together. Con?
The Late Show with David Letterman.
It's a good one, this other show. Pro, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman is a great song. Con?
It's also Jimmy Fallon's yearbook quote.
It is a very interesting time for me. Pro, since she's arrived here, she's already been asked out by 10 different people. Con?
Hi, Roots.
Calm down. Pro, today she released a brand new sleepwear/lingerie line called The Intimate Britney Spears. And it can be worn by anyone. Con?
Jimmy's wearing it under his suit right now.
It's a very interesting time. A very interesting time for me. It's very comfortable. It's very comfortable. I like it. And finally, Pro, getting so nervous you accidentally call her Ms. Spears. Con?
It's Britney, bitch.
Welcome to the one and only Britney Spears! Thank you for watching, and as a
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so what do you think that one was? Trying to find a good spot to stop. That's good. What do you think that one was?
Comparisons?
Might be a little bit of comparisons. They're going to be comparing traditional dating with online dating.
Dating app Tinder.
Okay, well, the point of this was, overall, what do you think? Was it positive? Was the okay? Is it positive or negative? The attitudes they're giving about the portrayal of online dating. Was it positive, or was it negative? Who thinks negative? I think it's positive. Okay, Hiram Mother was kind of a mixed bag. You know, he was saying, I'm not going to online date. But then Barney was like, oh, you need to online date. So that was a little mixed bag. You can just see, we don't even have to hear Brittany here, but you can see her face. Let's see here. There's a really good spot where there, you can see her. She looked really concerned that Jimmy has posted her on Tinder, right? And then, obviously, the lowered expectations, that was obviously negative. Alright, so, that's that. Alright, so, now we're going to switch and we're going to some ads. Who's got some favorite ads? What ads can you think of?
Farmers Only.
Farmers
It was
Only.
So catchy.
Okay. Alright. Any other ads you can think of? What other sites have you seen ads for?
Like eHarmony, okay.
Match and eHarmony. Christian Mingle. Okay. Match.com is the most popular dating site. eHarmony is second. So for this, we had a lot more Match.com and eHarmony than we did the other ones. Christian Mingle, Black People Meet, JDate, those types of things. So let's watch some ads. Now you've got two sheets. Switch to the one that has a shorter list. Okay? Try that again.
Are you single?
Yes.
Are you on Match?
No, actually. I just kind of figured it would be inconvenient because I didn't know there was an app.
Does this app seem inconvenient?
No, it seems easy. It's actually really funny. Is this a real person?
It's a real person. Find his username.
It's Joe King.
Joe King.
Oh! I really like this. I'm not kidding.
Okay, what do you guys think that one was? Okay, there's a little readiness. We're going to start playing with candy. Okay, alright, well let's watch another one. Oh, we can't get that one. Okay.
He has a sense of humor, doesn't he? That helps.
I don't know why every screen is being muted.
Grandpa, this is my friend Chase. He likes a girl. She's not afraid of spiders. I told him eHarmony would find the perfect girl for him. Over 1 million people have gotten married on eHarmony. I hope Amanda's a good eHarmony match for me.
Well, Chase, maybe right now you and Amanda could be friends, and then when you're both older, you could try eHarmony.com.
Good idea, because right now I have to go to bed at 8.
Me too. Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
By the way, before you tell me what that is, this guy, for those of you that took the survey, 80% of my sample, before they knew the study was about, the survey was going to be about online dating, 80% of people recognized who that was. Like I gave them 5 options of, CEO of Burger King and other stuff, and 80% of people knew who that guy was. So, what do you think that one was?
Readiness.
Okay, readiness.
Idealization.
Okay, a little bit of idealization. Probably readiness is probably right. Like I said, I'd have to go back and look at what my coder said.
an example on it. It says something about age.
I realized that now it
My name is Tom.
accelerated through I pulled up all the videos, but it kept going. So, but all right, so we'll watch one more.
My name is Thomas.
My name is Tracy, and we met on Christian Mingle. I want a man who loves God, because if he has a relationship with Christ and loves him more than anything, he's going to know how to love me. Christian Mingle was the only one that had to offer exactly what I was looking for.
When we chat, it's just that connection that you want to have with someone that you would love to marry.
I am so grateful for Christian Mingle.
Joining is easy and free. Join ChristianMingle.com today.
Okay. What do you think that one was?
B.
My name is Thomas.
My name is
Uniqueness?
Specific prayer questions.
Okay, I think that's pretty uniqueness. I'm looking for a Christian person. Yeah. All right.
I am so glad that Jen set us up.
Yeah.
So how do you guys know each other?
Jen and I went to summer camp together.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, I never lost Maccabi.
Whoa.
I know,
Watch
right?
out. What's Maccabi?
Oh man.
You know, I never lost at Maccabi.
Color Wars?
You know what that is?
Yeah, we called Maccabi too.
Do you want to go out and grab a drink?
Yes. Do you want to meet my parents?
Okay, so what was that one?
That did escalate quickly.
Way
Idealization.
I think it's uniqueness. So.
Comparison.
Readiness.
It's a lot of things. I would say it's probably uniqueness in that this is for Jewish people, right? They're looking for certain type of people. So.
That what J stands for?
JDate, yes, Jewish date. That's what that is about. I realized after I set it up, it kept going and finding new videos. So after.
We're together, even when we're apart. I'm connected to your voice, flowing to my heart. Out in the distance, I see an awesome thing. I head in your direction. I meet you halfway. You're the one that I'm trying to reach.
Meet the one you've been missing at the largest dating site for black singles, blackpeoplemeet.com. Start today for free.
Okay, what do you think that was?
Checking each other.
Again, uniqueness.
Okay, uniqueness, yeah. The ones who like black people meet, they're like you're looking for a specific type of person and we have them, right? Alright, everyone's favorite ad.
Where's Jill?
She's really lonely and out walking the cornfield again.
Do you think they will ever find us true love?
Not hanging out with us all day.
We used to be lonely.
Until we met on Farmers Only.
FarmersOnly.com is the new online dating site for farmers, ranchers, and good old country folks.
You don't have to be lonely at FarmersOnly.com.
City folks just don't get it.
Okay, what do you think that was?
Uniqueness.
Okay, idealization, yeah.
Uniqueness.
Okay.
Used to be lonely.
Alright.
That was kind of sweet.
So cool.
Okay, now these have all been pretty normal, right? So let's watch one that's takes a little takes a little on the weird side for me.
Her name is Anastasia. She lives almost 5,000 miles away, but I've never felt closer to anyone in my whole life.
Male
This
waiter
is-
bride.
Watch that comfortable.
This is for
Is she a robot?
Her name is Anastasia.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Think about what am I doing right now?
It's a site for meeting Russian singles while you're sitting in a bathrobe in front of your tablets, what that's for. I
Oddly
guess.
specific.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But, so, that should fall under other, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
In comparison, because it said no other dating site is something.
it's true. So you can see how it's a little bit hard for my coders to come up with one code for these. But that's what I made them do, and we did training so that, we had that. So, alright, so let's talk. So now you've done what they did. Now they did this for about 6 weeks, about, not like constantly, but they got paid $18 an hour too, but I got a grant, so that was one thing. So, you're kind of getting an idea of what they did. Alright, so let's see what I found here. So, the most common one was worse. Now, this could be a little skewed because I did include catfishing and to catch a predator and, what was the other one? I didn't include cheaters. Oh, and yeah, catfish, really just catfishing to catch a predator. So that kind of skewed it, but those are that's what we think of, kind of. And then none was, there was nothing in the okay, I should have paused and done the advertising. So this is all programming right here. So none, there was no references. And I split the television show into 5-minute segments. So it wasn't just the whole show, it was 5-minute segments of the show. And then better. And then mainstream. So remember we had a lot of mainstream. So that's that. So all the way down to comparison. So that gives you an idea of what we found in the program. So let's talk about what we found in the advertising. There are fewer codes to choose from, and advertising they kind of they tell you what you mean. There's not as much going on. They're shorter segments. They're about 30 seconds, some are a minute, but for the most part. So uniqueness, comparisons, other. So that gives you an idea of what we found. And there are a few that had, it'd be like the Old Spice commercials, don't even talk about body wash. That'd be like that for online dating. There was a few of the Zeus ones that just didn't make any reference. They were just telling a funny story. So that's the content analysis. So the first part, there's 3 parts to the Gerbner's, it's a 3-prong approach. The first part is, what does television say? Second part is, how does it affect us? The third part is, why, what's making it say that? I didn't address that part. So, we figured out what they say, so now how does it affect us? So, I did a survey. Some of you participated in the survey. There were 472 participants, 47% male, 53% female. Average age is 20 years and 5 months. I used demographics, so I found out, income, race, that sort of thing. So the predictors. So these are the things that are influencing other things. So we controlled. We weren't interested in demographics. I wasn't interested in finding out how much being a minority affected your perception of online dating. But I wanted to control for that. I didn't want those affecting what I was finding. So the predictors. These are the things influencing other things. So television viewing. How much television do you view? What's your preference in genre? Advertising viewing. Do you like the advertising? Do you think the advertising is effective? And what's your previous experience with online manipulation? So this is yourself and like your friends, family, that sort of thing. So this is what we found. And then the criterion measures. So I talked about the things that influence. These are the things that are influenced. So perceptions of online romantic relationships, stigma attached to online romantic relationships, normalization. So how much is it normal when you get up, have breakfast, then you get on your computer and go online dating? Is that a normal thing to do? And then perceptions of serial monogamy. So those were the 4 things we were looking at. So I did 4 hierarchical linear regression models. You don't need to know what that means. That just means that I figured out what the predictors influenced the criteria, right? You don't need to know what that is. Like I say, you didn't take 27 hours of graduate communication, well, not communication, research methods. It's okay. You're better off that way. All right, so previous experience. What does previous experience say? So, previous experience with online matriculation was a significant predictor. Now, significant means, okay, let me tell you what significant is. So, you see we've got 2 numbers here. This is a beta weight, and we've got a p less than 0.0001. So, beta weight is the strength of prediction. So, how strong a predictor it is. So, this is not a strong predictor. It's a number from 0 to 1. Obviously, 1 is higher, 0 is lower. This is a very small predictor, but it still is there. And then significance, what you want to be is above 0.05. And this is, or I'm sorry, below 0.05. If you're above 0.05, what that means is if I did this survey again with a different sample, I would find the same thing. If I get above 0.05, so 0.06, then I'm not significant. That means that if I did it again, then I might get the results, or I might get something else. And you know, there's levels of significance. So 0.06 isn't really that bad, but there's a standard that if it's above 0.05, we say it's significant. If it's not, then we just can't trust it. So that's that. But this is very significant. Very small predictor, but it predict. So that's that. So previous experience, if you've done online dating, if your friends have done online dating, if your family's done it, then you have more positive perceptions of online romantic relationships. So being involved in online dating or knowing someone has increases positive perceptions. So that was good. That confirmed our hypothesis, right? Remember those hypotheses I listed? Hypothesis 1 is supported. Advertising. So, believing that online dating advertising is effective was a significant predictor, and this is our strongest beta weight, 0.504. That's a moderate predictor. That's a pretty good one. For cultivation, that's huge. Perceptions of online romantic relationships. And then viewing online dating and liking online dating were non-significant. So you can see 0.688, that's completely random. 0.105, 150, maybe we could work with that, but for the purpose of this, it was non-significant. So we don't know. We can't do much of that. But that was a significant predictor. So if you thought online dating advertisements were effective, you had more positive perceptions of online romantic relationships. Hypothesis 2 is partially supported. So genre. None of the television genre preferences were significant predictors of any criterion variables. So significance was between 0.148 and 0.966. So this is almost completely random. So hypothesis 3 is not supported, which is not unsurprising for me, but that's what it was. So serial monogamy, perceptions of serial monogamy. Television viewing is a non-significant, so you can see it's almost there, but not quite. So you can see it just barely below 0.05. We say it's not significant. Maybe if we did it again, maybe we get significance, but this one we did. Hypothesis 4 is not supported, and none of the other predictors were significant for serial monogamy. There's nothing we couldn't say that much about serial monogamy. All right, stigma. So advertising viewing and believing that online dating advertising is effective were both significant predictors. Very small, still small, but not as small. Or negative predictors. So if you'd watched a lot of online dating ads and you thought they were effective, you thought that online dating had less stigma. So there was a negative predictor of online dating stigma, right? And television was non-significant, so 0.127 perception of online dating stigma. So hypothesis 5 is supported, right? That's a good thing. Normalization. So liking online dating advertising, believing online dating advertising was effective, and previous experience with online dating were significant predictors. So 0.029, 0.18, 0.28, A little bit strong predictor, not very strong predictors. Well, I guess that's almost 2, but so that's that. Television media was a non-standard predictor. Once again, 0.052. Hypothesis 6 is not supported. Now, this is the big one. This is the one: does watching television influence perceptions of online romantic relationships? Remember, we did this is the big one, right? All right. So, television is a significant predictor of perception of online relationships. So, we got a predictor, right? 0.038, so that's good. Very small beta weight, so very minuscule change, very small change, or very small effect, but it's there. Now, if you remember, what was our hypothesis? Remember? I know it's been a while. I hypothesized that television would be a negative predictor. So if you watch more television, you have more negative perceptions. But it turned out it was positive, right? So my hypothesis 7 is not supported, but I did find a significant result, which is, normally we don't like finding an inverse relationship, but this is still a useful finding. We found something, it just wasn't what we found it. So we had to explain why we found it. And I'll get to what that says in discussion here. So, conclusions, what did we learn? The television message about online manipulation is generally negative, right? Stigma is decreasing, normalization is increasing. Television advertising has a cultivation effect. Television advertising predicts perceptions of online manipulations. And I said that it would be a negative. It would produce it would predict negative perceptions. It would produce positive. And the way I say it, the reason I predict that is that if you're watching more television, what else are you watching?
Advertising.
You're watching more advertising. So that's it. So. And remember, there weren't a whole lot of references on television of online romantic relationships, right? So, all right. So, limitations, few directions. What were my limitations, and where are we going to go with this? So, it was a modified conception of Gerbnerian. That's not a word, but I made it one. Content analysis. Convenience survey sample. My sample was 18 to 24-year-olds. I think if I got more of the 24 to 35, the online dating age. That would probably be a better sample. The line between romantic relationships, social media, and traditional dating is continually being blurred, and online dating will continue becoming more common. So it's not like we're going to suddenly stop online. If anything, it's going to become more common. It's not going to stop. We're not going to suddenly stop online dating. It's going to become more common. So, conclusion. This is the overarching conclusion. Romantic relationships are important to people, are often essential to human existence. So we think they're important to us, and it's kind of something very essential to what so it's a big part of our lives. Roommates is hard work. No one really knows what they're doing, right? No one knows what they're doing. And further understanding this experience is a worthwhile goal of communication. So learning more about romantic relationships and online dating, and to a lesser extent what television says, is a worthwhile goal for us. That's my presentation. Do we have any questions? Okay. So you can